Life is a time pass, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, पता नहीं, जो थारी राय सो मारी राय, nothing to do, nowhere to go, देखो सुनो मत बोलो, wherever, whenever, whatever you are, be 100% कर्नाटक, किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो, ना कुछ पाना ना कुछ खोना, who asked you live at zero complaint level, मौज में रहो, be happy.
Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Why we are studying Upanishad? Because all the problems are because of wrong notions. And wrong notions are in our intellect, in our mind. Now, unless these wrong notions are corrected, whatever we may be doing or not doing, it will continue to persecute us. Therefore, wrong notions must be corrected. Not by replacing by the new notions, but wrong notions are corrected by not creating new notions. This is exactly what happens. We create new notions. Like in case of karma. Earlier I used to do dushkarma, now I do satkarma. See, karma is still there. Earlier I used to speak foul language, now I speak the soul language. See? Earlier I used to eat all non-vegetarian, now I eat vegetarian. Earlier I used to drink all the dirty things, now I drink milk. So what we are doing in karma or our day-to-day lifestyle, we are only changing the notions. So we are trying to improve the I, but we are not getting freedom from I. See? Therefore, Upanishad is studied only for one important thing. We all demand freedom from I, not freedom for I. When we go to sleep, what is achieved? Freedom from I. The world around us is the same. See? Our wife, our children, our house, our property, our dates, our benefits, our health, our disease, everything is the same. But in deep sleep, there is no I. See? So, when we have freedom from I, then only you can discover the peace or joy or bliss. See, friends. And therefore, it is necessary that सर्वं वैदिकं साधनं ज्ञान कर्म लक्षणं कर्त्रादि अनेक कारकापेक्षं प्रजापतित्व फलावसानं साध्यम एतावदेव यदेतद् व्याकृतं जगत् संसारः. Therefore, in this manifest world, whatever we are doing karma and jnanam upasana, it will keep us bound in the relative world, samsara. It will not get us out of it. See? Earlier I was doing dushkarma, now I am doing satkarma. So you are still in the same world. Earlier I used to use foul language, now I use the Sanskrit language. But you are the same. Therefore, अथ एतस्य एव साध्य साधन लक्षणस्य व्याकृतस्य जगतः व्याकरणात् प्राक् बीजावस्था या तां निर्दितिक्षत अंकुरादि कार्यानुमीयताम् इति वृक्षस्य कर्म बीज अविद्या क्षेत्रो यसौ संसार वृक्ष समूल उद्धर्तव्य इति. Yesterday we have seen this, I remember. But this must be very deeply received by us in our mind. See, in this अव्याकृतस्य जगतः व्याकरणात् प्राक्, व्याकृतस्य जगतः व्याकरणात् प्राक्, before this manifest world, when it was under the unmanifest state, to indicate that. So, Ankuradi Karyanumiyatam Vrukshasya means from the effect we come to the cause. So, what is the effect? What are the known? From the known we come to the unknown. So, we know the world, we know ourselves, we know the joy and sorrows. So, from them we come to the cause. In the same manner, from this Vyakrutasya Jagataha, on this manifest world, we come to the substratum. And then we come to know karma bija avidya kshetra hi asau. Therefore, karma is the bij, the seed for the samsara vriksha, the relative world. And avidya, ignorance, is the field. These two things are to be clearly asau. And therefore, if we have to uproot this samsara vriksha, we have to get out of this karma and avidya. See? Samula urdhartavya iti, it is necessary. So tad udharne hi purushartha parisamapti. If this is done, then only our life as human being is fulfilled. What is the purushartha parisamapti? As we have seen earlier also so many times, there are 4 purushartha. Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. Normally when they talk about Purushartha topic, they talk about Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But actually it is, first we run after the Artha, then Kama, then Dharma and the Moksha. So, Parisamapti, Purusharthasya is Moksha, liberation from I. This is essential and this must be achieved by us. That is the only purpose of our studying the Upanishad. And this is what is said in all the things. Tadhi idam tarhi avyakrutam asit tad nama rupabhyam eva vyakriya tad asau nama ayam idam rupa iti. So, this Brahman which was unmanifest, which was as it is, the world was unmanifest. Tadhi idam tarhi avyakrutam asit. The world was not manifest. Be attentive. It is said world was not manifest. That means there is no question of existence or non-existence of the world. Like all the ornaments are unmanifest in the gold. So they are not born out of non-existence. This is a very subtle point. This world is not created out of non-existence. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. It is not possible. Then this world was unmanifest. Therefore, tadi idam tari avyakrutam asit. So the name and the form were not manifest, and therefore nama rupabhyam eva vyakriyata, and therefore it became manifest in the form of the name and the form. Nama ayam idam. Therefore, ayam is me, nama is with me, and idam, the rupa, is with the world. Therefore, nama rupa is the world. Nama rupa abhyam eva vyakriyate asau nama ayam idam rupa iti. So, name is this and rupa is that. In this manner, the world is both name and the form, not only name and not only form. So, esha iha pravishtaha. And then in this name and the form, the Brahman, the reality, entered. Now be attentive. The gold manifested or became manifest or the ornaments became manifest. Now where from they have come? They were earlier unmanifest. Where they were? They were in the gold. So they became manifest. How they became manifest? By name and the form. And therefore gold entered the name and the form of the ornament. Now how will you understand this statement? Gold entered all the ornaments in the form of name and form. Meaning what? Gold alone is name and form of the ornament. But what happens? We give undue importance to the form and the name, and the gold is forgotten. See how subtle this point is. Therefore, sa esha iha pravishtaha. Now, how this Paramatma, Brahma, Atma, how can it enter in this world? Are Baba, the Paramatma himself is world. When you associated the Paramatma with the name and the form. See? So, by association with the name and the form, nothing is added to the Paramatma, nothing is taken away from the Paramatma. When we call the ornament with different name, like a wedding ring, nothing is added to the gold, or when we melt the wedding ring, nothing is lost from the gold. Then what is the name and the form? It is merely appearance. It is not real. This is the purpose of telling all these things. So, anakha yatha kshuradhana iva avitaha syat vishvambaraha so vishvambara kula ye tana pashyanti. But then this, like a sword is in its cover sheath, in the same manner Paramatma is as if hidden behind the name and the form. This point also I told you a number of times. Colors and forms are covering the eyes. Sounds are covering the ears. Sense objects are covering the sense organs. Sense organs are covering the mind. Mind is covering the intellect. Intellect is covering the life. Life is covering the Chaitanya. See how important it is to understand. This is the only way we have to understand. Therefore, Vishvambara Kula Yecha Te Na Pashyanti. But those who are not well informed, those who do not have the capacity to contemplate and understand, they are not able to even think about, forget about understanding. Now, once we recognize this, that the objects are covering our sense organs, what will be our spiritual practice? The presence or absence of the objects will not be a point of disturbance for us. See? And then we come to the next step, the sense organs. Now the sense organs, they are covering the mind. Why? Because we are the slaves to our sense organs. And when we are the slave to sense organs, naturally, we are far away from our own being. We are gone away. And then the mind is covering the intellect. We get carried away by the likes and dislikes. Wisdom or discrimination is gone. See? In this manner, when we slowly and steadily we are able to understand this, then only we will be able to recognize our essential nature. See? Therefore, what happened? Like Vishvambara Kula ye te na pashyanti. Akrusna, he is a pranan eva prana nama bhavati. Akrusna incomplete. Krishna is complete. So the Paramatma alone became as if the prana, and then we are living our whole life only prana. What about others? Manvano, manaha. Then we start getting lost or in the mind, because the same Paramatma became the mind. Then karma ramani eva. Then became the karma. So, saha yo ataha ekakam upaste na sa deva krishnaha ye eshaha ata ekeke neva bhavati evam atmanam upasita atra yete sarvam ekam bhavanti. So we are enslaved by one or the other, either the sense objects or the sense organs or the mind. And therefore, we are not able to go to the source of this whole creation, source of this whole world. So, भवति एव आत्मानु उपासित तत्र एते सर्वम एकम भवन्ति, where all of these are coming to conclude in one, that we are not. So tadetat padabniyasya pada aniyasya sarvasya yad ayam atmanameva etat sarvam veda. He who comes to know to this source of the total appearance of the relative world, he alone knows everything. Like the knower of the gold knows all the ornaments. See, nothing to do. Similarly, yatha havai padena anuvindeta evam kirti shlokam vindate ya evam veda. In this manner, if somebody knows everything about the music, he gets the name and the fame in his field. If somebody he is a good orator, then he gets the name and the fame as an orator. In the same manner, he who knows the truth, he also becomes very well known and is a source of inspiration and motivation for all others, those who are abiding in this truth. This is the meaning. See. Now on this, Bhagavan Shankaracharya's commentary is very huge. Question, answer, question, answer. There is no end to that question, answer. We have taken the mantra, whatever is enough for us. We are not going to teach anybody each and every Siddhanta. Therefore, we are bypassing them. Now we come to the next mantra, introduction. See how many pages of commentary, no end to it. Narayana, 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 Hare, Narayana. My God, कितना बड़ा है? हाँ, आ गया. Now, how to or why should we do upasana, seek the self? See? That is the question. What is said? Don't get lost only achieving success or extraordinary thing, becoming Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan in one field. Instead of that, get realized in the truth. Now, what is that? Kutasya etam atma tattvam eyad neyam anadritya iti aha. See? Why this self is only to be known, as we have seen so far? So it is said here, Tade tat preya putrat preyo vittat preya anyasmat sarvasmat tadantarantaram yad ayam atma so saha yo anyam atmanam priyam bruvanam priya bruyat priyam rotsyati iti ishvaro tathaiva syat atmana eva priyam upasita sa ya atmanameva priyam upaste na hasya priyam pramayukam bhavati. Now why we should seek the Paramatma? Because tade tat preya, this is what is loved the most by us. Therefore, asti bhati priya. Priya is Atma. See? Asti bhati priya nama rupa iti pancham shakam. Adyatrayam brahma rupam. So what is the Atma, what is the Brahma? Is asti bhati priya. See? So, tadetat preya. We love ourselves the most. See? Most of the putrat preya. We love ourselves more than the child. or the sun. Vittat preyaha, more than the wealth. See? Then anyasmat sarvasmat yat antaram yat ayam atma, that which is nearest than everything else, that is the Atma. See? So what is nearest to us? When do we achieve that? In the deep sleep. We are nearest to ourselves. See? How important it is. In the waking, just for understanding, in the waking, our ego, ahankar, I is 100%. In the dream, it is 50%. In the deep sleep, it is 0%. There is no ego. Therefore, there is no karma. Therefore, there is no karma phala. Therefore, there is no samsara. But that is not realization. You can't keep sleeping all the time. Again, the ego will bring out its hood. But that is just a trailer. And what we have to understand from our deep sleep is this: that vittat preyaha anyasmat sarvasmat yat antarataram yat ayam atma, that which is nearer than the nearest, that is the Atma. Now find out what is nearer than the nearest. See? Then we come to know our own being. So anyam atmanam priyam bruvanam bruyat priyam rotsiti iti. But those who are getting lost in the worldly things, putra, vitta, etc., and this man who is established in his own essential divine nature, when he will say something, it will happen. See? Saha yaha anyam atmanah priyam bruvanam bruyat priyam rotsati iti ishvaraha. So if he says that whomsoever you are loving, they will be the cause of your miseries. And it does happen. See? It is true. If you know this, we are all miserable, never because of the enemies. We are all miserable only because of our nears and dears. See? We are miserable because of our children, whether we have or we don't have. We are miserable because of the wealth, whether we have or we don't have. See? Therefore, those who are living at the periphery of their personality, they will be ultimately ending up in the misery. And this Mahatma, who is abiding in his own self, he gets the Vak Siddhi. Whatever he says, that happens. Because for him, now Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, they are not yet separated, they are one with him. Therefore, Bruyat Priyam Rotsati iti Ishvaraha. He will say, if he says that you are getting lost with your children, wife and all that, that will make you miserable. And that person will become miserable because of that. Tatha eva sat atmanam eva prem upasita. And therefore, one should seek only the self. Come to know this. Priyam atmanam eva upasita. Seek only the self that you are. Now how do we seek? Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritatvamanaso. Not by karma, not by upasana, not by wealth. Then tyage naike. Are we not doing the same thing? We give up achievement failures, we give up body identification, we give up mind identification, we cool down everything, and when everything is rejected, tyage naike. When everything is rejected, amritattva manasho, we attain bliss in deep sleep. But the bliss of deep sleep is also not the ultimate. Because again, when the sleep is over, again we are back to square one. So we have to clearly understand this principle. So, Saya Atma Naiva Priyam Upaste Nahasya Priyam Pramayugam Bhavati. Therefore, he who is he who is seeking Paramatma or the self. So ye Atmanam eva priyam upasate. Priyam Atmanam eva upasate. He who is seeking the Atma, who is of the nature of love, Priya, his nears and dears will never die. Why? Because he who knows himself to be the self, for him everything is nothing but the self. We see the world as we have seen ourselves, and therefore we should seek the Atma. Now, Sutrita Brahma Vidya Atma Atmityopasita Yat Artha Upanishad Krishna Upanishad Krishnadapi. See? Therefore, Sutrita Brahma Vidya, it is said in the Upanishad that Brahma Vidya, what is said, Atma eva upasita, we have seen in the earlier mantra, तथा एतस्य सूत्रस्य व्याचकित्यासुः प्रयोजनम अभिधीयत सोयोपाधि संगाजिगांसति. So therefore when it said Atma eva upasita, then to explain this, with a will, desire to explain this, now the topic begins. तदाहुर्यद् ब्रह्म विद्यया सर्वं भविष्यन्तः मनुष्या मन्यन्ते किमु तद् ब्रह्म एव वेद्यम् अस्मात् सर्वम् अनुभवत् इति. Now all these seekers of truth who were listening to all this, they asked that by the Brahma Vidya one can attain everything. So kindly tell what was known by that Brahman, because of which he became everything. See? What is that? So, taditi vakshamanam anantaram vakye avadyatyam vastvaho brahmana brahma vividishavaha जन्म मरण प्रबंध चक्र भ्रमण कृतायास दुखोदकापारम महोदधे महोदधि प्लवभूतम गुरुम आसाद्य तत्रिम उपतितर्श्वाहा धर्मा अधर्म साधन लक्षण साधन फलद लक्षणात् साध्य साधक निरूप निर्विण्णा तद विलक्षणः नित्य निरतिश श्रेयः प्रतिपीपस्व. Now what is said here? So vakshamana, what is being told subsequently now? Now here, what is Brahmana said? Who are the Brahmana? Those who were willing, those who had the desire that these living in this in the world of birth, old age and death and all this manner, and therefore it is so miserable to live in the relative world. So this samsara, like the ocean, which is infinite, the one goes to the guru who is like a boat, and then he wants to know that what is the dharma, adharma, what is the result of this, and what is the spiritual practice. And in this manner, those who are sadhya sadhana samsara virakta, those who are free from the sadhya sadhana and the dispassionate, so for them, those who want to know what is the Brahman, to them it was said. See, that means what? In this, the adhikari nirnaya is given. So who is the Brahmana? Brahmana is the one who has thought over and reflected on his life and learned from his life and came to know that this world has always been like this, there is nothing new. Then he wants to seek something higher. To such seeker, Brahmanas, now it is said, Kemaho ityaha. So what was said? The Shruti Mata tells, Yad Brahma Vidya Brahma Paramatma Tadjidaya Vedyate Sa Brahma Vidya Taya Brahma Vidya Sarvam Nirvashesham Bhavishantaha Bhavishyamaha Itivam Manusya Yan Manyante. So what is the Brahma Vidya? Brahma Vidya is that by which everything is known. Brahma is the Brahman and a Paramatma, and he is that Paramatma is known by that Vidya, therefore it is called a Brahma Vidya. Now, by this Brahma Vidya, everything is known. Here, when it is said, Manushya Grahanam Visheshataha Adhikara Jnapanartham, when it is said Brahmana or Manushya, only because human being only have the authority or the adhikara for knowing the truth. And therefore, Manushya eva tad vishesha abhyudaya nishriya sadhane adhikruta ityabhiprayaha. Abhyudaya is the material prosperity in this world, and Nishreyasa is the attainment of the absolute being. For this, only the human beings are authorized, and therefore it is mentioned here. Now, यथा कर्म विषय फल प्राप्तिम ध्रुवाम कर्मभ्या मन्यन्ते तथा ब्रह्म विद्या सर्वात्म भाव फल प्राप्तिम ध्रुवाम मन्यन्ते. As those who are engaged in the karma, they think, they know that when I do this karma, I shall get that result. They know it very well. See? Yatha karma vishe phala praptim dhruva. Dhruva means pakki, definite. Karmebhya manyante. It is said by the karma, those who are practicing, tatha in the same manner, Brahma vidyayaha sarvatma bhava phala praptim dhruvam manyante. In the same manner, by the Brahma Vidya also, knowing everything, Sarvatma Bhava, come to recognize that Mai eva sakalam jatam, Mai sarvam pratishtitam, Tad Brahmaham asmi. This is definitely bound to be. Veda Pramanasya Ubhayatra Avisheshat. Because both these things, that if you do the karma, you will get some amuk karma phala. And if you do the Brahma Vidya, you will get realization. Both of them are given by the authority of the Vedas. Therefore, Ubhaya Atra Avishesha, they are common for both. Tatra viprati siddham vastu lakshate ataha prachamaha. But here it appears different. Like what? When you do the karma, you get karma phala. But when you are doing Brahma Vidya, you don't get Vidya, you get Brahman. You get moksha. So, you are practicing Brahma Vidya, but you are getting moksha. Like you are practicing karma, you get karma phala. So, when you are practicing Brahma Vidya, you will get moksha. So, is the moksha the result of anything? That means it will become created. So, that which is created is bound to be lost. And therefore, विज्ञाना सर्वं भविष्यन्ता मनुष्यामन्यन्ते तत्किम अवेद्यम अस्माद् विज्ञानात् तद् ब्रह्म अभवत्. So what is that? By knowing which everything is known as Brahman. Brahma cha sarvam iti shruyate. Brahma is everything. This is what the scriptures tell. Tad avidyaya tad avidnyaya kinchit sarvam abhavat tatha अन्येषाम अपि अस्तु किम ब्रह्म विद्या. See, if by knowing that the Brahma is everything, then everybody should know it. Then what is the use of the Brahma Vidya? Because everything is known. Over. See? Therefore here, these doubts which are raised here, that Vijnana Sadhya Sadhaka Karma Phalena Tulyam Eva. So, it is like a karma phala. Because of this, something has happened. And therefore, Sarva Bhavasya Brahma Vidya Phalasya Ati Prasangaha. It will be a wrong thing. Anavastha doshasya tadapi anyad vidnyaya. Then, if others also come to know, then they will also come to realize. Na tad avat avidnyaya sarvam avahod. Therefore, we cannot say that it is like this. Then, what the Brahman has known. See? So what we are thinking? From Brahman we are coming to ourselves. So what the Brahman has known. Yadi किमपि विज्ञाय एव तद् ब्रह्म सर्वं भवति अपृच्छामः किं तत् ब्रह्म अवेत. See? If that Brahman has known something and then it became everything, so Brahma is separate and everything is separate. Kim यदि किमपि विज्ञाय तद ब्रह्म सर्वम अभवत पृच्छामः. What is that which is knowing that Brahma became everything? Now see how the confusion is. Kim tat Brahma aveta, what is that because of which the Brahma became everything? Yasmat tasmat sarvam abhavatiti, because of knowing everything, because knowing something, he became everything. So what is that? Evam cha udite sarva doshan aganditam prativajanam aha. See? So therefore, now the Upanishad, Shruti Mata tells without any doubt whatsoever. What is said? Brahmava idamagra asit tadatmanam aveta aham brahmasit aham brahmasmiti tasmat tas sarvam abhavat tadyo yo devanam pratyabudhyata sa eva tad bhavartha ऋषीणाम तथा मनुष्याणाम तदहि पश्यन् ऋषि वामदेवः प्रतिपेदे अहम मनुः अभवं सूर्यश्च इति तदिदम् अपि तर्हि य एवं वेद अहम ब्रह्मास्मीति स इदं सर्वं भवति तस्य न देवाश्च न भूत्या ईशते आत्मा येषां स भवति अथ यो अन्यान् देवान् उपास्ते अन्यो असौ अन्यो अहमस्मीति न स वेद यथा पशुरेव सा देवानां यथा वै बहवः पशवः मनुष्यं भुञ्जुः एवं एकैकपुरुषः देवान् भुनक्ति एकस्मिन् एव पशवादीनां नियमाने अप्रियं भवति किमु बहुषु तस्मादेषां तन्न प्रियं तदेतत् मनुष्या विद्युः. How beautifully these mantras tell us. So Brahmava idam agra asit. See, in the beginning only Brahma alone was there, nothing else. See, and Brahmava idam agra. Idam agra means what? Before this. Before this, what? Before creation. See? Therefore, before creation, Bhagavan says, ब्रह्मा परम सर्वभावस्य साध्यत्व उपपत्तेः नहि परस्य ब्रह्मणः सर्वभावापत्तिर विज्ञान साध्या. विज्ञान साध्या सर्वं भावापत्ति आह तस्मात् सर्वम् अभवत् इति तस्मात् ब्रह्म वा इदम् अग्र आसीत् इत्यादि aparam brahma eva bhavitum arhati. See, now here all the questions and doubts are taken. We'll go by the mantra. So, in the beginning means what? Before the creation. Wherever agra is the beginning. See? Idam agre. The agra is actually agre because it is followed by a. So a become aya and the ya is dropped. It become agra. Is the Sandhiniyam. So Brahmava idam agre asit. Idam agre, before this manifest world, it was Brahman alone. See? It is something like Abhushana agre suvarna asit. Before the ornaments, it was gold only. That means the ornaments are nothing but gold. Because what is ornament and what is gold? Ornaments are name, form and the gold. Gold is gold, gold and gold. See? Gold has no form, gold has no specific name. See? Therefore, other than gold there is nothing. Therefore, Brahmava idam agra asit. Before this manifest world, it was only tad agra asit, tad atmanam aveta. And this Brahman knew by itself. What? Aham Brahmasmiti. See? So don't we know ourselves? Then I am. We don't require any instrument of knowledge. Therefore, in our, this Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's Saddarshanam, Tasya Smriti Tasya Nishtha Eva. Abiding, knowing is being. They are not two, they are not separate. See? Brahmava idamagra asit tad atmanam eva avet. See? And what did the Brahma knew? Aham Brahmasmi iti, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. See? Now I am is the knowledge for everyone. But our knowledge is limited. Because we are identified with the body and then we become man, woman, all the problems begin. But this was not the problem with Brahman, because before the manifestation it was only the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi iti. See Maharaj, this is the Mahavakya. Like Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, Ayamatma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. These are the four Mahavakyas normally referred. So, Brahmava idam agra asid tad atmanam eva veta am brahmasmiti. Tasmat tat sarvam abhavat. And therefore, Brahma is everything. See? When the gold came to know that I am gold, then the gold alone became all the ornaments. See? Tasmat tat sarvam abhavat. Tad yo devana pratyabuddhata sa eva tad bhavat. Tadarshīnām tatha manushyanām tadhi pasyan rushir vamadevaha pratipedeti. See? Now among them, it is said here, tasmat tad sarva abhavat. Yo devanam pratyabuddhata. The one among the gods who came to know, they also became the same Brahman. Tad bhava atharshīnām. Those rishis who came to know, they also became the same Brahman, because they are Brahman. We don't become Brahman, but we recognize to be Brahman, ourselves to be Brahman. Manushyanam tadi etat apasyan. Similarly, among the human beings, those who came to know that they are Brahman, what they happened, example is given, that Rishi Vamadevaha pratipede. The Rishi Vamadeva said, Aham Manuhu Abhavan Suryasya iti. I am Manu, the creator of this world. I am Surya, I am the sun. Tad idam api etarhi ya evam vedaham brahma asmiti sarva sa idam sarvam bhavati. In the same manner, he who comes to know Aham Brahmasmi, he is one with the totality. Tasya na devasya na bhutya ishate. Then devatas cannot control him. See? Nobody can control him. He is beyond everything because he is one with the Absolute. And then what happens? But those who are engaged only invoking some different gods, be attentive, we will be talking both ways, totality and individuality. Atha yo anyam devatam upaste anyo asau anyo aham asmi iti nasaveda. Now those who are worshipping various gods, see, there are so many gods. And when you are worshipping, how we worship this god, do the upasana, I am separate from the God, God is other than me. See? Therefore, Devam upaste yaha anyaha asau anyaha aham asmiti. This God is different from me, I am different from him. Nasa Veda, but he doesn't know what is the real nature. Yatha Pashu evasa devanam. He is an animal to the gods. See? So be attentive. Which is the animal to the god? Animals work for the owner. See? Now we go subjective. Be very attentive. What is Deva? Deva are the faculties. Dyotana Devaha. So, vision, eyes are the Deva, then nose is the Deva, then ears are the Deva. So, all our faculties are gods. So, when we are propitiating, fulfilling only the demands of our sense organs, etc., then we become the slaves. So, we are working only for getting the tickling in the tongue. We are working and struggling only for getting it, only praise for myself, and nobody should speak ill about me. See, this is how we become slave to these faculties. We become the slave to all our indriyas as well as the objects. Devanam pashu eva. And then if we die and go up there, and if the God asks us, hey, I sent you as a human being, what did you do? So what can we tell? Ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha. Other than these four things, we have done nothing. So God will say, yes, it is not your fault. It was my fault that I made you human being. Now go back in the pig's body and eat and produce litters. See, in today's world, to have too many children is like being a pig, carrying so many children, see, and creating problem for the society. So he devanam pashu eva. So we become the slave to our faculties, to our sense organs. Yatha vai bhavaha pashava manushya bunju revam ekaikaha purushaha devan bhunakti kasmin eva pashavaadiyamane apriyam bhavati. Now, like we are the slave of these various animals who are helping us, who are doing our job. If one, like the example you take, there are many houses where they have got half a dozen servants. People will be one or two, but servants are half a dozen. And if one particular servant is not there, they become miserable because they have got too many servants. If one servant goes away, they become disturbed. If all the servants go away, how much miserable they will be? In the same manner, if we are enslaved by one sense organ, how much miserable it becomes if we cannot use that sense organ. And if all our sense organs are gone, we will become extremely miserable. And therefore, we have to conquer our slavery. We should not become the slave to various devatas. Therefore, yatha havi bhavaha pashavaha manusham bunjihu ekameva ekaikaha. So, one sense organ is enough to destroy us. See? In Yoga Vasishta, this shloka comes. In also Vivek Chudamani, this shloka comes. Kuranga matanga patanga meena. See? The 5 animals are listed, and they are so much attached to one object. See, the what you call deers are extremely attached to the sounds. Because of that, they die. Some sound is heard, they will immediately stand and try to know where from the sound is coming. They become a stagnant target for somebody to shoot. Otherwise, they can run away. See, in this manner, there are 5 animals. They are slave of one sense organ each, and that becomes the cause of our death. Now we are the slaves to all our 5 sense organs. How many times we should die? Therefore, pashavo devan bhunakti ekasmin eva pashava eva pashavadin niyamane apriyam bhavati. If one of the animal is taken away, we become so misery. Kimu bahushu tasmadesham. And if all our faculties are making us enslaved, how miserable we will be. Tanna priyam yadetan manushya vidyuhu. Therefore, what is meant? That don't waste your time in propitiating individual gods in the world and individual sense organs in your own being. See? Bhagavad Gita clearly tells us, whatever gods you are propitiating, I alone bless you. So there is but one reality. But this one reality we are unable to understand, therefore we get lost in this God, that God. See? You know our Shitala Devi. Now, Shitala Devi's carrier is a donkey. Like Vishnu Bhagwan's carrier is the Garuda, then Shivaji's carrier is the bull. See? In the same manner, the carrier of Shitala Devi is a donkey. Now one devotee was propitiating her, and when she was propitiated, she was told, "Oh Goddess, kindly give me such a horse that I can win all the matches, all the races, not matches, all the races, and I can earn money." So when this was said, our Shitala Mata got angry and gave one hard on the face of, "You are making fun of me? If I can give you horse, why will I ride a donkey?" See? Therefore, whenever you become a slave to one particular God, you are tied down. See? And we become obsessed. We are unable to see the divinity in everything and being. One more example I'll give you. Many years before, myself and my very good friend Sharmaji, now he's in, I think, he is in Jaipur probably. So, he and me, we were going somewhere. On the way, there was a field, in Maharashtra it happened. And it was daytime, sun, 12 o'clock or so, very hot. And in that field, some water pump was functioning. So we thought of going and having something there to eat or like that. So we went. One lady came and I said, "Is there any man in the house?" He said, "Yes." Then a man came. Then we told him, "Say, yeah, please come in, please come in." We went, we had nice food, everything. Then we told him, I said, "Look here, we are going to Pandharpur and we have got 2 seats. Because only 2 of us are there and our car is big. So you can join us, you can come with us to Pandharpur." That was the time of Pandharpur Yatra. He said, "No, we don't go to Pandharpur. Why? We belong to the Datta Sampradaya. We don't go there." See? Instead of discovering one truth behind everything, we become obsessed with something. This is what is mentioned here, that they Devanam, Pashu Evasa Devanam. Therefore, Maharaj, those who are Tanna Priyam Yadetad Manushya Vidyuhu. Therefore, what they have understood is not the right. They have to know the absolute what they are. See? Now, why the gods various gods do not want the devotees to go anywhere else or in the Brahma Vidya? Because the one who is engaged in Brahma Vidya, he is not seeking anything either from the worldly gods or from his own sense organs. See? How important it is to understand. Therefore, all gods bring obstacles in the life of the seeker. They do not want you to know your essential nature. And therefore, so many temptations. Now, what are the temptations? Extreme success in the outer world. Whatever you do, your hand becomes a golden hand. You touch and it becomes successful. Do you think such a man will leave that thing and go away? See? All your wife, children, everybody is very much loving and honoring you. Do you think you will leave them and go? See? And therefore, be attentive. Desire fulfillment is not spiritual life. And what is understood by majority is only this. Fulfill the desires. So, desires are in our mind and they are expressing by getting identified with the sense organs, and we are unable to fulfill that, then we invoke the external gods. So our gods are our sense organs, and the total gods are the various powers. So many Devis, so many Devatas. See? We invoke them. So when these two Devatas come together, our desire is fulfilled. And therefore, those who are engaged in desire fulfillment, they are not walking the spiritual path. See? Now, why did God bring such obstacles? Because their market will go away. The same thing like Babaji. See? Somebody should come to the Babaji to ask for something. If you go and say, hey, what do you want? I want nothing. Why you have come? Go away. See? It's so important. We want to catch. क्या समस्या है बेटा? See, whatever business I start, it fails. What I should do, I don't know. Is there any business wherein I don't have to do anything, but I get money? Now I come to this point. Whatever I do, it is not successful. Now, if there is a failure, if there is a tragedy, if there is difficulty, if there is a pain, understand it is a grace of the God by which you can turn your life from the dog world to the God world, from the extrovertedness to the introvertedness. But instead of that, we want to invoke more and more powers and then get. So, a young man went to the Mahatma, please tell me something. I don't have to do anything, but I keep on getting money. That is all I can think of my life. Mahatma said, yes, it is possible. Please tell me what is to be done. He said, you start a Sulabh Sauchalaya and sit there. You don't have to do anything. People will do and they will give you money. See? This kind of slavery for fulfillment of desire keeps us away from our essential nature. And that is why we have to very distinctly and clearly understand spiritual life is not becoming enslaved by the objects of the world, the sense organs, the activities, karma and upasana. We have to go beyond that. Unless we understand this basic principle, we are far away from the spiritual path. That is Dharma Shastra, where we want to fulfill our desire through karma. Then Upasana Shastra, where we want to fulfill our desire by invoking the divine powers. And Adhyatma Shastra is, we have no desires. See? Living at a desire-free experience is Adhyatma. And nobody can help us in that. We have to only through inquiry and understanding that desires can never be fulfilled. You fulfill one desire, the second will come in front. And in this manner, we get lost in this world. Therefore, this whole Upanishad, this chapter is leading us to this point that we have to clearly understand. Don't get lost in this small little stuff. Desire fulfillment is not the spiritual life. See? Now, before we enter the 11th mantra, the teacher has said here, Sutritaha Shastrata Atma iti eva upasita. So, up to here we have seen in the last mantra, therefore we should see the self, we should seek the self and not the fulfillment of desire. Iti. Tasya cha vyachikhyasitasya sarthavadena tadahurjat brahma vidyaya ityadina sambandha prayojena abhite. Thereafter, tadyo tadahu yad brahma vidyaya. Then it was said that in the Brahma Vidya, by the Brahma Vidya alone, this Brahma Tattva can be recognized, and therefore ityadi sambandha prayojana vite, it was said. Then avidya yasha samsara adhikaranatva uktam. Therefore, avidya is the cause of the samsara. See, it is the adhikaran. It is the cause because of which the samsara is there. Atha yo anyan devatam upaste ityadina. And therefore, when you get involved with the other gods, you continue to be in the samsara. Tatra avidvan runi pashuvat devadi karma kartavyataya paratrantam ityuktam. And therefore, those who are ignorant people, they are all having debts. See? DEBT, debts. One person asked me this question, Swamiji, why my sons are like that, extravagant and spending lot of money, not earning anything? See? I said, it is because you have taken lot of money from them in the last life, therefore you are together because of these debts. Debt is called as runa. Therefore, runanubandha. We are all related to each other because of the runanubandha. We are having some kind of payment to be made to the other person. See? So when we are doing something, see, like the other day I told my friend, I said, look here, you are doing all these things for me because you have taken a lot of money in the last life from me, never returned. So this life you are paying for that. Therefore, in fact, we don't give anything to anybody. We are only paying the rent, paying the debts. How important it is. Therefore, when we pay that debt to somebody, suppose we have borrowed 100 rupees and we are giving back 100 rupees, we are not doing any greatness. That is, we are returning it. Therefore, runanubandha. We are all tied down with each other only by this runanubandha. See? Now hereafter, the next mantra, 11th mantra begins, that we'll try to say tomorrow, God willing. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.